Hey everybody, I wanted to jump on here and talk about why you have to be provocative in today's business place and today's marketplace in order for you to stand out because it's crowded. So let's just dive in because I think it's just really important to get into. If you look at your news feed, whether it's on Facebook, whether it's Instagram, it's any platform, we live in this day and age where there's this constant stream of people. There's this deluge that we have to, I don't want to say we have to subject ourselves to, but the result is that our content might not be seen. And why is that? Because there's so much. You think of it like a thumb stop, right? Like when you have your phone in front of you, you're just going through it like this. Oh, that looks interesting. That looks interesting. But you pass right by something that's important. So the only way to stand out is you have to invoke emotions. And that's doing something that people feel strongly about. It's not always that it has to be humor. Humor is a great way to do it, but it doesn't have to be. So think about politics. If you look at your newsfeed, and we're not going to get into any particular political whatever, but here's to illustrate the point. What happens when you see something in your feed with a candidate or it's someone who's in office that you're for or against? There's this tendency you want to interact. So guess what you do? You interact with it. Or you see something that's talking about, let's say, a favorite restaurant, and you go, oh my gosh, this is the best thing ever. You engage with it because there's emotion involved with it. Yet when you look at a lot of content that entrepreneurs put out, that's not the case. What ends up happening so many times is the exact opposite. There is nothing that's there that's really enticing for people to want to engage with, to interact with. And that's something that has to change, because if we don't change those things, guess what happens? Not a whole lot. So I'm going to go with a couple ideas, a couple things that you can easily do to be more provocative and be more polarizing. So, and here's the reason why I want you to think about it. And we use, guess what, politics to illustrate it. It doesn't matter which party that you are in favor of or against. I want you to think about it this way. You can easily think of the people that are at one end of the spectrum or the other. Go ahead and try to name a few of the people that are in the middle. Not so much, because they're not polarized. They're not doing something that gets people talking about it, not something people go, oh my gosh, that just boils my blood, or like, oh, 2 thumbs up on that. It's like, it's kind of playing it safe. It's kind of like being in Switzerland, not really ticking off anybody so everyone just thinks you're okay. You can't be that in the online marketing world. You have to be that person that is going to be able to position themselves in such a way that people are going to see who they are and want to engage with them. So like I said, we're going to go into a couple of those strategies. So the first thing that you want to look at is defining polarizing topics within your industry. And it doesn't matter what industry genre that you're in. You can be able to talk about something that's going to get people just riled up. They're going to go, oh my gosh, no. I don't want to talk about this, or like, oh, I have to give my opinion. You want to lie more towards the stage of, I want to give my opinion, because people have a voice and they want to share it. If you're unsure of that, just go look at any of the news channels, Facebook pages, and look at the stories there. You'll see different people's opinions, and they have to share it. So you could have a couple thousand comments, but then you'll look at some of the threads in it, be a couple hundred. So you want to take that type of notion in your business. Let's say someone's in real estate, and you really want to get people talking about a downtown location. You might want to say, of what should this be, a Dairy Queen or a parking garage? Something like that, or a Walmart or whatever, something that people are going to be either on one side of it or the other, and they're going to engage. It might seem strange, but why would you do that? Like I said before, you're getting the conversation going. So you have to think about, when you get the conversation going, who is it that your ideal clients are? What is it that they're going to engage with? And so this way, your content is going to be seen. Is it going to rile them up? Oh yeah, but you want that because you want them to notice who you are consistently. That's the key. So figure out, obviously, who your ideal clients are, but then also, what is that topic that they're just going to get them riled up? What is that emotion that's behind it? And then the second thing that you're going to want to do is follow up with them. You just don't want to put that one thing out there and that's it. Kind of think of like, you watch a cliffhanger in a movie. What happens? Like you're all around like, yes, 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 and then like, oh, stay tuned for next time. You're like, oh, crap, that's it. You don't want to do that with your audience because guess what's going to happen? They're going to forget about you. You have to keep that journey going. If, using the whole example, let's say of a parking garage or a Dairy Queen. Well, what are you going to move them forward with the next thing? It's like, hey, if you're in favor of the parking garage, it's this, or if you like restaurants, it's another thing. You want to keep the moving forward in the whole process because that's what's going to make a difference in what you do and what you achieve ultimately. Because people want to know more about what the conversation is. So you want to keep the conversation going. So that's super important. But here's the key thing: it doesn't matter what you're doing. If you can capture the people's information and take them off of Facebook, off of Instagram, off of Twitter, or off of whatever, even more powerful because now you have that information. You can be able to email them. And that's the ultimate goal, is to be able to collect that so if something happens to any platform, you're okay. You can still be able to use that data. So that's what I want you to think about there. And then the next thing in this whole process to really leverage emotions is having that solid call to action. What is it that you want to do? Because when you're thinking about all these steps there, you're getting people riled up, you're following up with them. What is that ultimate action that you want people to be able to do? What do you want them to experience? Because that is going to make a huge difference in terms of the impact that you have. And here's why. If someone's in real estate and your whole goal was to be able to sell more homes or get people to buy more homes, okay, great. Well, then how do you get them into that conversation? Because now they're like, oh, yes, I need to do more about this. Like, oh, yeah, you know what? Maybe I do need to do that. Or, if it's something with politics, like, yeah, you know what? I need to support that candidate. Or it's about a restaurant, like, yeah, you know what? I need to support that business because they deserve it. You want to think about how do you get people to move forward in the buying decision. This is often something that is missing in advertisements I'll see online. Or I'll see people, they'll post like, hey, I have a listing. Well, looks great. So does, 20,000 other realtors in the area. But what makes it where people go, oh my gosh, I've got to have it. That's the key thing. You have to invoke that emotion of where people want it, and it's that fear of missing out. Because when you look at emotions, we'll go into a deeper dive on another day on this, but to give you that little sneak preview, people are more likely to move away from a source of pain than to move towards pleasure. So that's the whole thing. When you put all these things in alignment with one another, you create a powerful concoction that gets people motivated and gets people wanting to take action, to interact with what you're putting out there. So that's what I want you to take away from this. Take action today. Start asking that question. What can you do that's provocative? How can you invoke that emotion? How can you, keep the conversation going? And then ultimately, what is it that you want them to do? Do those three things, and that way you can start seeing results in your business. So, if you found this interesting, you found I'd like to know more about that, go ahead and leave a comment below, and I'll reach out to you because there's some innovative things you can do in your business to be able to grow. So do me a huge favor, do that, and also click that share button. If someone out there needs to hear this message so they can grow their business today.